I just look at it like the easiest example I look at is the difference between my British friends and my American friends. I love the show Ted Lasso because it's like an example of, I call it getting Ted Lassoed now, which is when a Brit has twice the intelligence or knowledge, but the American has 10x the agency or confidence. And as a result, they achieve 5 times more. So,
dude, by the way, I think I
brilliant.
said that's brilliant, and I think I've said on the podcast to my British friends, the difference in American culture and British culture is watching the British Office and the American Office. In the American Office, the guy always gets the girl. There's a little bit of laughing at each other, but it's more like we're laughing together, and it always ends well. But in the British Office, it's kind of mean, and like the guy does not get the girl oftentimes, and it actually ends sad.
The British show is more realistic and was less successful than the American version of The Office too.
But the Ted Lasso example is way better because it's so true that you like see this optimistic person and he's in a room full of haters. And that's like, that kind of reminds me of my British versus American friends.
There's a crazy stat around universities. So the top 10 universities in the world, I believe 3 are British and 3 are American. So when you actually look at our intellect, I think you could argue we're at least as smart, or at least the British sound smarter. We have that going for us. However, when it then comes to entrepreneurial output of those universities, America is like 5 times higher. Even the example of a lot of the AI innovation came from the UK, but then the actual execution happens in the US. So so to go back to your point, I think using the UK versus the US as an example goes to show you've got similar wide distribution of genetics going on, but a completely different output as a result.
You said something that we passed over, but I thought it was actually a pretty good insight, which was you pay attention to you said it in a very intellectual way, like I pay attention to the facial muscles. But really what you're saying was, if it makes me laugh, there's actually some merit in the idea, right? The idea that makes me giggle is the one I should double click into. And I just thought, have you seen this email that basically kickstarted Airbnb? So Airbnb, which today, I don't know, $100 billion company or so, the email that kicked it off is a public email you can read.